Hello and welcome to Point of View. I'm Tania Nugent and thanks for joining us today on the program where we share ideas and thoughts, celebrate achievements and explore issues that matter to women. And joining us as always today, my fellow panellists, Cleopatra Coulter. Welcome Cleo. And Ms Phil Kilage. Welcome once again to you also, Philly. And our special guest today is businessman and family man Steven Kilage. Steven, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thanks for having me, Tania.
Well, we all know the importance of having a roof over our heads, a place to rest and find sanctuary, a place to raise and care for children. But housing in PNG, especially in urban areas, is a real challenge for the average income earner. So I just thought we would start by having a look at maybe making a comparison with the housing situation for Papua New Guineans between our urban centres and our regional centres. What's been your observation and experience of the differences between living in the regions and living in a city like Port Moresby?
Well, in Moresby, you see, basically there's no facilities for our citizens, and there's no access to proper land, which since independence, all departments have been working in isolation, causing lack of land in Moresby. Hence, you have people squatting, and then every year there's a politician comes along, throws in a water line and just basically a water line, just in a basic facility. So people basically are walking up to the water line and fetching water, which is pretty cheap politics, which I think. But in saying that, going back to the villages, I mean, in the villages it comes back to the local members providing proper sanitation and water access, and I mean, we've got pit toilets in the villages, but comparison, I think the villages are much more healthier than in the city. City, it's all, and the urbanization plans, there is current urbanization plans, but it's just not been implemented. Since 1978, the Morgan report basically stipulates that private sector needs to be looked at. We had the National Housing Estate established pre-independence for public servants, but there was nothing for the private sector, which 1978 till now, nothing's been really implemented. And we're still, I mean, the only urbanization plan was in Morata, and that's it. And there really needs to be more implementation.
Because I mean, there is no question that the people are moving from the villages and the rural areas to the cities, and that's not going to stop. So it is something that, like you said, it actually makes me panic. If we don't have a plan, it's only going to get worse. What's your experiences, Philly?
Well, I see in Moresby, you're right, there's a large influx from the rural areas into Port Moresby, and people are moving into the outskirts. There's more housing, more things, more settlements. There's a lot more squatter settlements in the area, and as such, there's opportunity for crime, and it's sometimes very unsafe to move around. So it is a worry if there's no proper plan in place, and if people can't feel safe, then what good is a home? Because a home is where we're supposed to feel safe. So it's scary.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what Steven is saying. When we look at homes in the village, they're more healthy because people use materials that are relevant to the weather and the condition. Now, when you come to Moresby and you see the houses being built here, especially in the settlements, it's just pieces of timber, pieces of just, lily copper house, that's all. And there is no proper planning. And I'd argue that, there's an influx of urbanization, more people coming to the city. I think because, people are trying to get closer to services, but the worrying bit is the housing bit now.
Yeah, that's true. We need to just take a very quick break, but when we return, we'll be talking to Steven a little bit more about his ideas to get more PNG families out of overcrowded and expensive living conditions and into their own homes. Stay with us. Welcome back to Point of View. We're talking about housing on the program today. Well, since the PNG government launched the first home ownership scheme with BSP in 2014, hundreds of Papua New Guineans have benefited through the ability to get low interest loans to buy their first home. But with our population growing and more people moving from rural to urban areas, it really does feel like it's an uphill battle. Those loans probably only a small percentage of people are accessing. According to the National Research Institute, houses in Port Moresby are being rented for 2,000 kina per month. An apartment in town can cost up to 3,500 kina a week. 9 Mile it goes down to about 600 kina, but still, it's really expensive. And most of us, you know, the dream of owning our own home is just way out of our reach, Stephen. Paint a picture again of the housing situation, particularly in urban centres like Moresby and Lae, and perhaps why? Why is it so expensive?
All right, firstly, I mean, we've got a growth rate of 3.5%. There's people getting born here or influxing into the city for job opportunities, you know, better health, better schools. We've all got a right to be here. A lot of people I hear, I've got a Facebook page, a lot of people basically saying, Salama go back to place, but the thing is there's no opportunity in the villages. That's why they're here. I mean, all Papua New Guineans have the right to be here. The issue is, since 1978, as the Morgan report states, the Morgan Committee report basically states the government needs to facilitate these infrastructure so people can have proper housing. Like I can ask people in the studio here, who's got a title? I bet you 1 out of 10 have titles. Apart from that, everyone's basically living in the mother or father's house. Like I'm still living in my dad's house, and my sister's living in the same house. I mean, we're basically all, my sister, my brother, we're all living, because we can't afford to buy a house for 400,000. It's good that there's a facility there, but the government really needs to, you know, free a lot of land. There's 3 types of land in Moresby. There's state land, which they call certificate of occupancy, and then they've got commercial land where we can buy, and then we've got ILG. I mean, 97% of land in Papua New Guinea is customary, and only 3% is state-owned. So that gives you a kind of indication of how much land we have. It's just we've got different departments not working together. So you've got Edaranu, you've got PNG Power, you've got physical planning, and you've got a lands department. So you just need one department, basically. You need the government to champion this project. Basically, release a couple of the lands, and then, you know, do proper subdivisions with proper road access facilities, and then do a subsidized land. You know, give people land for 20 to 30,000. Now, once you have equity, then you've got the power to, you know, go to the bank with the facilities. No one has equity. I mean, everyone here has got no equity, or, you know, collateral, or you can mortgage that kind of property, and that's basically what, you know, we should be looking at, giving people equity first, and then you can access the, you know, the BSP facilities.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we talked about that home ownership loan.
With, you know, in terms of why is it so expensive? Why are there only a certain handful of people who actually have access to these homes and the land and everything? Can you explain that? Because I know the homes are cheaper to build, but it's every time I see the prices like 400,000, 500, 600. No, I can't afford that. It's
simple. It's very simple. Everyone knows it, but no one wants to say it. Everyone wants to get a cut. And when everyone gets cuts along the way, at the end product, you and myself, we get to pay. We pay the end result. So what I propose is we need a government agency to basically do all the infrastructure, and we give free about 600 million on free education, subsidized education. Why don't we do that for a couple of years and give homes to citizens for subsidized price, 50,000. And once they have that kind of equity, and then you'll see it's got all sorts of benefits to it. Social issues, people in homes, and it's just got so much issues. And then with the housing, what's happening is we're bringing companies in, and we're telling them, okay, you do the infrastructure. And that's why you've got a lot of these housing estate failures. It's not happening because they can't be pulling sewage and septic and power lines and everything. It's not their job, it's the government's job. The government should facilitate all this and make it easier for investors to come in. So that's why everything's so expensive. You've got private firms, Asian firms coming in and providing all these facilities. Of course, they want to make a profit. It's not the government's basically supposed to provide these facilities, and then along the way, building a house probably costs 100,000, but they put their markup up, and they're making 300 or profit. And then at the end of the day, oh, we've got a BSP facility. That's great, but you can't. You don't have equity. So that's the catch-22. This needs one business arm trying to the government to create these facilities for the investors to come in. So under the PPP private partnership.
Yeah.
In terms of your plans with housing here in Mosby, specifically, what are the types of material or the type of building that you would consider?
Well, we've invited 5 different companies. So that's what we've given them our target. We wanted 50,000 for one, like a studio apartment, to 150,000 for a 3-bedroom home. So they're basically coming on with their own plans submitted to my group. And basically how it works anywhere in the world, you get a block of land, they build their display homes, and then like the citizens can go pick their homes themselves, and then instead of you being the guy controlling it and making money off people, that's where the failure is. Our government department's trying to make money off its citizens. Government's not supposed to be making money off its citizens. We're supposed to provide services. That's why we're the government.
Yeah, we already do that when we pay tax, giving government money. That's where they make money from us. Yeah.
So with your idea, what is it called, and where is that particular piece of project going to happen?
We're calling it the One Family, One Home policy. We've drafted up already. It's all over the city. We've identified 2 big ILG groups. Also, there's about 8 certificate of occupancy land, which is owned by the state. We've got a lot of free state land there. And then the problem is having ministers of each department selling it off like it's their own personal asset, where it should be, utilized and given back to the citizens.
Yeah. You were talking about land title before and property title. It was interesting, I read a survey, the Australian Bureau of Statistics released a result of what the typical Australian is. It was a 38-year-old woman with 3 kids and a 3-bedroom house. A woman. And they broke it down by state. And it just made me wonder about how many Papua New Guinean women have title to their own house. And if not, what are the issues around this?
We've been around doing awareness about this, and a lot of the elderly women over 50 or 60, some of them, I think about 10% of them have titles through, lunch, all those kind of things. Most of the houses were left, former housing commission houses left by the late husbands who basically worked for the state. But in terms of getting actual new titles, it's merely impossible. I grew up with a single mom and 2 sisters, and it took her 2 years to get our title after my father passed away. So after going to the Prime Minister's department, knocking on the door to the Lands Department, which is basically our right to have the title. So I feel a lot of the mothers' pains and everything. It's very hard for mothers in the city to get titles, and that's something where in the policy it states that 50% of the titles must be for women and 50% for male. We're just following the UN guidelines for equal opportunity.
Okay, so that's part of the One Family, One Home policy, is that the title belongs to equally the man and the woman.
Because I have 2 sisters, and I grew up with my mother. My father passed away when I was 8, so I really feel for the mothers. A lot of mothers, husband, whatever it is, marriage problems. A lot of marriage problems in Mosby. There's a big rise in that, and a lot of our mothers are left kind of to fend for themselves. So it's basically geared up to the mothers, Yeah,
they're left homeless, basically. A lot of women go through issues with their spouses, and new plummet come, old plummet out, kick him out of the house. Where does she go? She ends up in a shelter, or she goes back with her family and adds to the stress of the city again. So it's a cycle.
Me personally, I've got 2 daughters, and I don't want them being controlled by in their future because they don't have a land. I want to make sure they should have a land, and it shouldn't be controlled whether they're female or male. They should be entitled to a land, and it doesn't take a man to tell a woman who she is. A woman should be independent. And today, you have doctors who are living still underneath a husband who don't have land. So land kind of basically covers a lot of social issues that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, just very quickly before we go to the break, what are the social issues? What are the benefits of having, we have a massive overcrowding and lots of families living on top of each other in one dwelling. What are the benefits to our society if we can change this and if we can have, one family, one home?
Basically having your own space firstly. A lot of women, they do want their own space. Also having kids being brought up properly. A lot of kids listen to elder people gossip, fighting, drinking. You know, if you have a happy home, if you grow up in a proper neighborhood, the outcome of your upbringing is going to be far better off. You can study better, you can go to school better. You're not influenced by the surroundings. So, I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I grew up in a good neighborhood because we had a title. 80% of the population out there don't have titles, and that's pretty alarming.
Yeah.
We're not even addressing that.
Yeah, it is. Look, we need to take a very quick break now. When we return, we will have Street View, when Isabel Juma talks to people out there about their situation with housing and how it affects their lives. Stay with us. Welcome back to Point of View. Well, the challenge of housing is something that affects most of us, nearly all of us. So today's Street View is all about how people live. Here's Isabel Juma.
Well, we all know it's a little expensive living in Port Moresby, and compared to some places around PNG, it's a bit cheaper, yet have less accessibility to certain things. Here on Street View, we're going to go and ask the people on how much of a struggle it is to live where they are compared to elsewhere in PNG. Take a look.
They can kill without warning, so you don't explode. Stop your growth.
Oh, right now I live at Gerhu.
Yeah, Mr. Lo, 3 Malta, so.
Let's just Yuan.
Me want time all family blow me.
Oh, Mr. Staplo settlement.
They reside inside the 3 mile compound, inside the Pom General Hospital compound.
Mr. Morata, Commental.
I am not living on my own. I am living with my relatives.
Brother blow me, ma blow me, pa blow me, sister blow me, boo uncle or some plenty.
Mr. One time, people brother blow, mama blow me.
Oh, the living arrangement there, it's quite good actually. I mean, I'm at stage 2, so yes.
I'm a settlement type number old man, old monkeys established plus a backup number and stuff.
Me na step papa blow me, mama blow me na big brother blow moms. One time I got a family, brother sister blow. Me plus sleep kerap inside one plus same community. Me plus staff most plenty line. I'm rundown community. Me plus no staff good. Some blow me plus sleep kerap blow ya. Front blow bus stop. Me plus market blow ya. Me plus kai. Night time me plus go sleep kerap blow store.
More than 8 or 9, yeah.
And do you support them, or do you guys all financially support each other?
We're being supported by our other relatives.
Me plus Salim Buai, Simu, all market number out na. Me plus I look out to me play. Some plus I go walk.
Me and me at Mr. look out in me yet or some Miss Salim Lilik popcorn or peanut or Lilik something. Me self me stop me yet. No, me look at me yet, no, Mr. Star.
It is a struggle for all of us because we have to bank up, and then whoever comes and goes, since accommodation is difficult, we have to make do with what we have.
People settle us the soul. I'm old monkey, old me plus Salim boy na what na. Smoke na plus stuff.
And is it expensive?
Very expensive. Atumas. Yeah.
It is quite expensive, so.
I'm inexpensive too much, but life me plus staff loga most. Me bano sa kai good, sleep good. Everything I'm alright. Side lo wara power me plus staff alright.
That's in Geru. Geru is considered one of the lower end suburbs, so yeah. So accommodation is should be cheaper, relatively speaking. But otherwise, Geru right now is still quite expensive.
But must be, especially the side lo accommodation lo staff lo house, and it's very expensive. One black is a big room number renting lo 400, even almost 500 now. So I think look at in Chilo City, side lo accommodation is very expensive now.
You'll always find another wound. to grow. To
Well, there you go, the voices of the public, some more blunt than others. But for now, it's back to the panel to discuss more.
Well, some very interesting points of view there from people on the street about their housing conditions. The settlement thing is a big one. It's sort of, to me, like the elephant in the room of Port Moresby, where there's literally hundreds of them now.
Yeah.
What's the reason? Well, I mean, what impact does that have, and why has it got to this stage?
Well, there's quite a few people in Moresby. I've been around the Wanagilla, I think it's the Wanagilla area, the one at Cocky Market, and I went to see a friend of mine. And there are people living on top of people. Like, there's just there's a lady cooking down here, and then there's a guy hanging his laundry here, and you know, it's just so overcrowded. And the influx of, like, I see a lot of people from my region in the area, and the mix, it's like a cocktail for like anything is possible. Like, it could be, it's just crazy. And maybe the government should, you know, as we spoke about earlier, really needs planning to plan these issues well. We're not planning enough, and the population is increasing. There's opportunity for crime. We went to Wanagilla and children just ran in front of the car. You know, I'm like, these people know they could get killed. There's kids everywhere. It's just overcrowded, and the pollution is a problem too.
Yeah, it's basically what we said, basically getting proper planning. I mean, there's a lot of research been done in Nari, you look it up, there's research about housing. It's just not been implemented. It's when the government tries to make money off citizens, that's when it doesn't work. So you just need to free up some land, give it to the citizens. We do pay tax, and you start seeing a huge social change. You start seeing kids going to school better. There's so many benefits that could end up in Port Moresby, you know.
We need to take a very quick break now, but when we return, we'll be talking about architectural styles and what suits the PNG conditions when it comes to building a house. Stay with us. Welcome back to Point of View. We're talking about housing, and I thought it would be really interesting to take a look at housing styles and designs. And I just thought I'd start by asking each of you, like, have you ever pictured your dream home? You know, what's your fantasy home, Filmer? You look like you've got one.
I've been watching too many of those Hollywood shows, so I'm thinking like a huge mansion, pool, air conditioning, like 20 rooms.
What about yours, Claire?
I've always had this, saying that if you never visited me in my Konai house, then you don't deserve to be visiting me when I have a mansion. But I'd rather have a hobbit home.
Yeah, I'm the same. What about you, Stephen? Do you have a dream home?
I love to be up in the mountains, and like they call it the Eagle's Nest. Out of Hitler had this little pad there with the snowy mountains. I'll be up there, just with the snow.
Yeah, me too. I would, whatever my dream home is. It's based around traditional, like I love the roundhouses. Like I just think that's really distinct. You know, some of our architecture in PNG is really distinct. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm up on a mountain with a view. Yeah. Looking out there. This really cool, I found this really cool thing online that a few years ago in the World Habitat Awards, this PNG house here, it took out, it was one of the finalists. So it's basically traditional structure, but adapted to modern living needs. So they've taken, and I really think that that's something that, I think they look nicer than a lot of these like little wooden block houses, but B, they're cheaper and they're more conducive to the environment. So the whole idea of drawing on what our ancestors knew about the kind of houses that we lived in. What sort of houses do you have in your traditional part of the world, Philly?
Oh, well, we had the huts made out of, whatever was there, the resources. My grandfather made our house. So it's lovely. And then we've adapted. We also have another house in the village that's for all the family to come and visit. So they've used plywood and wood and actually built a proper house. But I spent some time with my grandmother in a village hut, and it was okay.
Actually, all of you are from the Highlands, so it's all round houses, right?
It's all round
It's my
houses.
favourite kind of house. It really is. But I do also like the big, up on stilts, catching the breeze.
Oh yeah.
And you've sort of with your place out there, Red Rock. Just for people that don't know, Stephen has a fantastic venue. So it's a lovely bar just on the outskirts of Port Moresby called Red Rock Bar. Tell us about the architectural thinking behind the design of that venue.
Well, we wanted to do it more traditional, and I also got an architect from Gold Coast to do it for me. Basically, we wanted to capture the whole view and the breeze. I didn't want to use fans and whatnot, so when you walk in, it just kind of opens up to the airport and to the Bootless Bay area. It's quite amazing. I was actually want to put my house up there, but I wanted to share it up with everyone. So
thank you. We love it up there. But it is that thing of sometimes I think that we can actually save a lot of money with building houses if we go back to our traditional ways of doing things and to draw on traditional materials and things. Yeah.
I think the biggest cost is the cost of manufacturing in the country. If we can cut it down, timber and stuff, it's all here. It's just the cost of producing things in this country.
Is that also because people want to cut?
Yeah. Everywhere you go, to the T-boy, to the CEO wants a cut.
Wow.
To move your paper. That's why it's costing all of us. So our policy just wants to, from government to the citizens, not everyone in between.
You're right, because we have everything that's needed to construct the, if we can do it in the village.
Just greed's causing all this.
Yeah. And even stuff like, we do have water problems here. We do have power problems all the time. Are there any plans to kind of create housing that's where people are more self-reliant, so solar power and rainwater tanks, so that
eco-friendly homes?
Yeah, eco-friendly. Are there any plans within your policy framework to focus down there too, so that people don't have to be paying easy pay and whatnot, Ediranu bills?
No, we basically structured it for Port Moresby alone.
Okay.
So we getting the facilities like Ediranu, PNG Power, and also having people in proper homes. You get rates. People start probably paying rates. PNG Power will start making money. Elcom will, Ediranu will start making money. Now we've got a lot of illegal connections out there.
Well, yeah, that's true, and that's so dangerous. And also, it kind of continues the cycle, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, so paying rates and garbage collection.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So if you have 10,000 homes being built or properly, I mean, the revenue is about 16 million a year on the current rates now. And that's revenue coming into NCDC, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you look at, PNG Power, Ediranu, those kind of things. Let citizens do want to abide by the law, but if they're going to hang out on the street, they might as well build something on the vacant land. That's what's happening. Give people an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like in Australia, they say have a fair go, give a fair go. You got opportunities in Australia. Here we don't have opportunities.
Yeah.
We're constricted.
Yeah, very much so. Okay, we're going to take a very quick break. After that, we're going to play a game that will test your knowledge about the many traditional housing and architectural styles in our beautiful country. Don't go away. Welcome back to Point of View. And now we're going to play a little game on our program today. We've been looking at housing, and one of the things that we all know is that Papua New Guinea, in all of its diversity of cultures, also has a very diverse range of different architectural styles. So this game is called Where Is This House? I'll show you the picture and you have to tell me which part of PNG it comes from. Okay, this is our first shot. Where is this house?
Morobe?
Steven says Morobe. Filmer, what do you think?
Gaire?
What do you
It
think?
looks like a Highlands house, but the steel suggests that it's from the coastal area.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Morobe.
Yes.
Yeah, Morobe.
It's a Morobe house. Yes. I love those. I love the way that we, the underneath of the house. Okay, this is an incredible dwelling. Where is this house?
Wow, is that
it's
one
a long house? Yeah.
It's a long house.
Yeah.
Looks like a house mount or something.
Is it like in the Sipic?
That's your guess, Sipic? Cleo?
I think I've seen it in one of the festivals or something, the Kundu and the Gaso festival or something. Maybe somewhere like between Teleforming and Sipic or somewhere.
I think it looks like Minyama.
That is Lake Kutubu.
Wow.
So so I think that would be like, because it's in Gulf Province they have those kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if you can see that properly, but have a look at that house.
Wow. Sort of tree house.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Where's that house from?
Sagari people are known for tree houses.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I say New Island Province?
Guess.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to say Morobe.
Okay. Pick a place.
Variata.
Variata. Actually, that's in West Papua.
Oh, wow.
But I just thought I'd like to put that in. It's right on the border with us, and you're right, we do have the tree houses, and you'll see them in Variata National Park. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Philly, where do you think this house is?
Please, is that my second home, New Island Province?
What do you think, Cleo?
It looks like
Philly says
a
New Island.
house. Is it from Millen Bay?
Cleo says Millen Bay. Stephen?
Looks like Sipic to me.
Yeah, Stephen is close. It's Vanimo. That's in Vanimo. So West Sipic. Yeah, very similar to the house Tumbarong shape in the roofing. Okay, so where is this house, Cleo?
I think it could be anywhere Highlands or coastal. It's a modern contemporary house.
Yeah. What do you think, Philly?
Yeah, in the Highlands.
Yes. What do you think, Stephen?
Based on the plants around, maybe in Morobe Province.
It is actually from the Highlands, but it's actually from the Highlands of West Papua.
Oh.
I just throw a trick one in there. But I do that again to show the similarities between us. Like we're pretty much the same people. Okay, this house. Cleo, where is this house?
Sipic.
Philly, where is this house?
Yeah, I'll say Sipic too.
Yes,
Pacific.
Yeah, very iconic design. I think every Papua New Guinean knows that. There's inspiration for our Parliament House. Where is this house, Cleo?
It looks like one in my village. I'm just going to say Goroga.
Okay.
I'm just going to say Central. No, Goroka.
Okay.
Morobe.
Yeah, it's from Finschhafen.
Yeah.
It borders onto, it's from the area that borders onto Eastern Highlands, so that's why you were saying. So, okay, this is gorgeous. Where's this house, Cleo?
That's from my place.
Goroka. Wow, okay, Goroka it is then.
Yeah.
Goroka.
It's Goroka. Gorgeous. Okay, this one might be a bit trickier. Cleo, where's this house?
I don't know if it's a Morata house. I'm just gonna say from the Gulf.
Gulf, Cleo, Philly?
I have no idea. I'll pass.
Okay.
Western Highlands.
Close. That's actually in Enga.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Enga Province. Okay, where is this house?
That's a Highlands hut.
Definitely Highlands, right? My favourite.
It's got a blue door. Wow, lovely.
Yeah. Apparently blue doors are the most popular colour for a door in the world.
Oh.
Just right
Uh,
about one. Yeah.
in the
Where do you
highlands.
think?
I'd say it's probably Hagen or Enga.
Yeah, Enger. It's an Engen house. Okay, where is this house? It's a bit of a clue as to where it's by the river. Cleo,
It's somewhere along the Pacific River.
Philly.
The only river I know is the Civic, so Civic it is.
I'd say Daru.
No, it is Civic.
Okay.
It's a Civic River house. Okay, where's this house? Cleo.
Highlands.
Yeah,
Is that like in the Southern Highlands?
Southern Highlands.
That'll be Enga.
It is Hella.
Hello.
Yeah. And this one.
It's on an island, probably
Where?
in one of the New Guinea islands.
Okay, which one? Do you know?
I'm going to say again my second home, New Island Province.
And
I'd say Millen Bay.
okay, it's New Island Province, Nips country. Okay,
I recognize
we've got a
that
few
home.
more to go. Guess where this one is? Come on.
It's probably Koke, Wanagala, Hamavana, somewhere there.
Yep.
Yep,
go.
just down the road.
Yeah.
I know that is.
Yep, Hanubara.
HB, the big village. The big village. Okay, and this one, gorgeous. Where is this? Where are these?
I'm going to say Madang.
Madang.
Wow, yeah, it looks, I don't know what it looks like, but it looks like Madang.
Madang.
Yep, I'd say Medang.
It's Samurai.
Oh, wow.
And finally, Cleo, where is this house?
It's from my place in Fiji. I wish. It looks like it's from Fiji.
It looks like it's from Fiji, yeah. Philly?
Wow, gosh, I don't know. Maybe, look, let's just go with Gaire.
Gaire?
I'd say Vanuatu.
Well, you're close, both of you, Philly and Stephen, because it's not in PNG, but it's actually in a place called Rajampat, which is in Sorong. So I wanted to finish on the house that's in Samurai and then the house that's in Sorong,
Wow.
just because they're on complete opposite sides of this island, but they're very similar.
Wow,
And yeah, one people.
amazing.
So that's our game. Thank you for playing. Where is this place?
Thanks.
I hope we have a greater appreciation for the incredible diversity of just how different the different housing styles are around our country. Well, it's time for a quick break, and we'll be back again soon with a very rare peek at what Port Moresby used to be like. Stay with us. Welcome back to Point of View. Well, there is no doubt that we have a housing challenge in Papua New Guinea with our population growth and all those people moving to the urban cities, which is not predicted to slow down at all. So I thought it might be nice to remind ourselves of how things used to be and of just how much our capital city has grown. Here's a clip to a movie that was filmed in Papua New Guinea starring Chips Rafferty, and it's called Walk into Paradise. Take a look at this. So yeah, amazing. How have things changed?
It's amazing.
I absolutely loved it. So clean and gosh.
Yeah.
Like from an old Hollywood movie, like in Hollywood or in Hawaii or something.
Yeah, it looks like Hawaii.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like Hawaii. It looks more organized and clean too.
Yeah. So it's just nice to know, what we could be as well by looking back at where we've come from. It's such a different space down there at Ella Beach right now. I hope we can get it back to looking a little bit like what we just saw in that video clip. Well, we've just about run out of time on the program today, so before we go, as always, everyone here gets to have their 2 toys worth their final say. I'll start with you, Cleo.
Yeah, I think housing is a big issue, not only for adults and those with families, but for us young people too. I'm in school, but I still have to rent a place because it's not only renting, it's boarding and lodging. That's also the same issue as getting a house here. So I mean, I'd like to live to see that age where housing is more affordable, more people. We have students from the University of Inlay and here in PNG graduating every year, but where do they go and how do they afford, getting a house? So I'd love to see that stage where we all can afford homes.
Yeah, Filma.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting conversation, and I've learned quite a bit. It's very sad to see that many of our people don't own their own homes in Port Moresby, and I hope that that's going to be something that will change. In terms of the population increase and influx, I hope that we can all be considerate of each other in this time, and hopefully when the the government can implement better planning and better strategies for our people.
Stephen.
Thank you. Yeah, it is a major issue. We put all the plans together into one policy, and we hopefully that this government, the next government that comes in, can actually implement this policy, and it's a win-win situation for everyone. I want a home for my kids also, so my 2 daughters. So hopefully our policy can be looked at, regardless of who wins. Get our policy and then get people in homes.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I think that for my final say is that I think it's very refreshing to have a political candidate and a party that is focusing on a policy that is relevant and actually has a policy, a clear one. And even if it's just one, at least we know, what this person stands for. So for that, Stephen, I really appreciate you coming on today and sharing your, it might be just one idea, but that one idea is a pretty important idea. Thank you. And thank you also, of course, to Cleo and to Philly once again. And thank you to you out there, our viewers at home, for tuning in once again for Point of View. You can always tell us what you think about housing and anything else you've seen on our program through our Facebook page. And while you're there, why not send us some ideas for topics for upcoming programs? And we'll see you back again here next time for Point of View. Bye for now.